Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
I know you're mad at me for hitting the live button early and for hitting the record button until just now.
It just feels like, a lot just went out the window. I'm gonna have to do all of that all over again, but it's fine. It's fine. No big fucking deal.
What? I mean, you were just looking stuff up. I had a story to tell.
I had a story to tell. What the fuck do you think I'm looking up?
Country Music Awards? BET Country Music Awards?
A story to tell. Nigga, go ahead. What story do you got to tell? Are we actually live?
We're actually live now.
Are you just hiding? That's part of the problem with going live. Just know that if you're with us right now, we won't be able to respond to you, but we appreciate you rocking with us, though.
Yeah, you get the unfiltered raw pause.
No, there's no pause after you mention unfiltered raw. The levels of audacity are rising up and crashing through. This is Doc
and Ziggy,
and we are
the Flood.
That's right, your favorite weekly pop culture digest, here to bring you our pop perspectives.
To put the culture in context.
And make the mainstream make sense.
Because if we do not make sense, we don't make dollars. Holla!
Cha-ching, a welcome back, or welcome if it is your first time here. If you don't know, now you know. We are The Flood, and you can find us at The Flood Pod on everything.
And that is on everything.
Everything. And we usually like to bring you the news happening around you and discuss how it shapes the culture that defines you. And this week we will be doing that with some very, very depressing debate news, but we will save that for later on in the show. We also got to talk about the BET Awards are tonight. So by the time you hear this, we will already know the winners of said awards. But
unless you are here with us right now, in which case we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. But we're still going to talk about the nominees. We also got to talk Olympics news, Paris Hilton news.
I definitely have a favorite Olympian right now.
And a whole bunch of other crazy 2024 nonsense. But you know how we like to start things out. And if you don't know how we like to start things out, that's by putting our ears to the needle and seeing what you guys are saying.
And doing whatever we can to go viral. And this week's hit on the algorithm is...
Frowny Face, Gucci Mane.
A throwback classic.
Because we know, Gucci is for the streets. It's always a good time for Gucci Mane, right? Especially for the summer. That Bird Print 3...
Also,
absolute crazy.
Yeah, and Frowny Face, once you listen to it, everything is going to make so much more sense about this pod because nobody comes up with original content ever.
I thought you were going to say because that debate was an absolute Frowny Face, but we'll talk about that later.
Gucci back then, before prison, would have made more sense.
Man, listen. Have you been actually listening to anything new this week that you want to share with the audience?
No, I've been watching some stuff that's new.
Ooh, what have you been diving into this week?
So I watched the new, actually you also watched it, the new anime Suicide Squad Isekai, which is the name of the anime.
Yeah, no, I did get to check that out actually right before we recorded today.
It's fun.
It was interesting.
I like how it really is, like, this actually made me come to the question of, like, what is an anime?
Yeah, talk that, because it was very anime, right?
Like, it was very anime, and it's from DC, or it's from Warner Brothers Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost
but at the same time, it's a Western property.
It almost feels like DC didn't have their hands on it, right? Like, this kind of feels like what might have happened if copyright laws weren't so stringent and somebody got their hands on the Suicide Squad IP and just made their own adaptation to it, right? Like,
they've really kept the aesthetic for Harley Quinn consistent. Like, they're just like, oh, she's gonna look like a punk, and she's gonna hit people with a baseball bat.
They definitely, with like the Jared Leto version of the Joker, though, which, you know, I feel like is more appropriate
for anime
in the Isekai. I feel like that's what Jared Leto was trying to achieve, but him being a cringe white guy, it just didn't hit the same way.
He translated the Joker to live action the way M. Night Shyamalan translated Avatar to live action.
Yeah, it definitely hit better in the anime. The whole piano car was wild.
I thought that was awesome.
I was like, so is that how he
That is
drives
something
the
that
car?
only would come out of Japan. I'm like, that is so cool.
Is it specific to like the song? Is it like, are there 3 songs, or can you just freestyle on that shit? How does the car know which way to go? Anyway,
Does he accelerate by doing like avant-garde jazz shit? Like picking up the tempo?
I feel like that's what he was doing, or was he playing classical music when they robbed that bank?
Oh, maybe he has to like slide down the keys when he wants to turn.
But getting back to it, how many episodes have you watched? How many episodes are out so far?
3 right now,
It's
and I
3
watched all 3.
Okay.
And Peacemaker is definitely not like Peacemaker from John Cena.
No,
At
it
all?
is, and that is clear from the jump. It is
He
like,
is not John Cena's.
oh my God, it's not John Cena.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They went with an entirely different adaptation. I like it so far. The animation is clean, which, you know, I'm big on.
Animation is really smooth. It made me go, oh, is this Studio Mappa? Do they have another sweatshop of animators making this?
It's different though, right? Like, I like when animators are afraid to take risk with the way they draw. Like, I feel like everything is very like clean line and like hyper stylized, like Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia right now. So it's nice to see something with a bit more like grit and just like I don't know, wear to it, which I feel like this has. It's very almost like crown drawn, kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Do you? I mean, you're
Crayon.
Is that what you're hung up on?
That's how I say it.
Is that what you're hung up?
We've had this fight before.
Is that what
you
you're
were
hung
like
up on?
Homer when he had the crown in his brain?
Oh my God!
And I'm like, he had a crown, a crayon?
Oh my God! Can we not? So the animation. Do you feel like it's different, or do you like it, or do
I
you
like the
prefer the
animation.
more hyper stylized?
I like it, and currently I'm definitely getting my dose of hyper stylized, considering the video game I just bought for my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
But we can
Our
get into that
co-host-
after we actually like.
Our co-host recently, you know, how you just gonna drop like, oh, my birthday, but we don't have to talk about my birthday, even though I brought up my happy birthday, Zig.
Thank you. I just turned
Yeah.
232.
Jesus, I forgot all about that bit.
For those who don't know, there's a running bit that I'm a vampire. But yeah, I just turned 32. Your vampire age is whatever age you are plus 200.
So he is
Real easy
still
conversion.
younger than Joe Biden. And you know, got twice the amount of energy. Anyway, speaking of energy,
Twice, and I'd still be moving slow.
didn't you say you had a story you wanted to tell?
Oh yeah.
Give me a little bit. I
So
gotta
I'm
pull up
definitely
some more.
getting my dose of hyper stylized media right now because I bought myself Persona 5. I don't know if you're familiar with the Persona series, but it is super highly stylized anime all the time.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who has like high reactive seizures cannot play this game.
Damn, it's like that.
It's flashy in the way like the Beautiful Joe games were flashy.
Oh, okay.
It's like
All right.
Henshin a Go-Go, baby.
Yeah, very. Like,
And
in
like
your
that's
face.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, the music like is fantastic. Like it's all like I was listening to the music and I was like, you know what? I feel inspired to go commit crimes.
I'm sorry. Were you listening? Does Persona 5 feature a lot of Kodak Black and
No, a lot of like
Really, like-
jazz and shit like that. Because the whole
Did
like
you-
person.
this nigga said this nigga said jazz and shit like that. I'm sorry.
You play as a
Tommy
gang of
Jones.
thieves
A gang of
in Japan
thieves in Japan.
who
Oh.
are only thieves in their dreams, and like students slice of life by day, which they've made abundantly clear in the first hour. Which is cool. I mean, like, it's super stylized, like the menus, like even when you change a thing, it, you know, in games it's just like, this is now highlighted green, this is now highlighted green. No, it does like a full out like comic book flair when you go down the menu all the time. And I'm like, whoa, this is a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like, not only is it hyper stylized, but there's also a really in-depth user interface with a lot of like nuance and combat to it. And I also know like you get to have all of your
What is the combat like? Is it a
it's
turn by-
RPG.
Oh, okay.
It's turn-based RPG, but there's so many different options that you can have. You can just do like a basic attack, or each person has a gun, and you can shoot the gun as many times as you want during that mode, but you only get one clip per battle. So yeah, you could throw Kodak Black on in there.
Do you think Young Thug plays Persona?
Probably.
That court case is getting wild. I don't really have any like news to talk about when it comes to it. I mean, there's a lot that's happened. Like his lawyer got held in contempt and was absolutely totally willing to do jail time for Young Thug and was like, all I ask is that we can serve our time in the same cell, judge. And I'm just like, bro, this Netflix documentary is gonna be fire, cuz it's like fuck the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. This Young Thug case is crazy, bro. Like, people are snitching and turncoating left and right. The lawyers going down for contempt. It's gonna make for good TV when it's all said and done. Yeah.
But all right, so game starts, right? So like we're a thief, and like the kind, not like the Tommy gun kind, or the like mask on, stick 'em up kind, but we're like the kind of like full trench coats and like vaudevillian masks,
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
like running and doing tricks over like these like catwalks inside of a casino that we just robbed.
I can't.
And you do have the people who are like, get him!
Stop that man!
And eventually we get caught.
But you're doing this in dreams, right?
Well, no, I think I was in real life in this part. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I do
Because my character gets arrested.
I do know that the whole Persona series is based around a group of young individuals who can transverse throughout people's dreams, and they use that power to solve crimes and shit.
Yeah, so in Persona 5, you can, like, the Phantom Thieves are trying to steal people's, like, corrupted hearts.
Okay.
And the thing is like, so
you as
the
a gang
beginning of this
thieves,
game,
are you part of the gang of thieves who were trying to steal people's hearts?
yes.
Okay.
So, like, the
That
beginning...
sounds they're trying to steal people's hearts.
Yeah, I know,
Go,
it sounds like a Prince album.
Go for it. Go for it. Talk that talk.
But beginning of the game had me like really confused because when I hit new game, it had the Fargo opening. It was like any similarities between reality and this are purely fictional. And it goes like, you will be engaging with a fictional story. Do you agree to this contract? And I'm like, why the fuck is this weeaboo ass fucking game asking me this? What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
So then I get like, once I like fall asleep for the first time, it like opens you up in dream jail, and he's like, this is where all of the people signed the contract is. And I'm like, is this game sentient? Is this game like getting fed the fucking current news?
It is a little weird sometimes when you're
Like
playing
for
something
that game to then like say that and then say, do you accept this?
That's a little on the nose there, buddy. I don't know if I can agree, if I can consent to that this early into the game. So you're enjoying it though?
Oh yeah, it looks like something I'm gonna be super into because like I haven't even gotten to the point where I can customize my character, and I already did like 3 battles, and I'm like, holy shit, there's like 5 different actions I can take in this battle, and then there's different sub actions inside of this stuff, and then you can upgrade my character, and you can upgrade my totally not a JoJo stand also.
Wild. You know what else is wild? Home invasions.
Yeah. Wild in the streets.
You know what's even wilder than home invasions? Home invasions for crypto. And
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, but it's totally a thing. Ars Technica, cryptocurrency has always made for a ripe target for theft, and not just hacking, but the old-fashioned, up-close and personal kind too. The United States Justice Department earlier this week announced the conviction of Remy Ross St. Felix, a 24-year-old Florida man, shout out to Florida, this is not a Florida versus everybody though, who led a group of men behind a violent crime spree designed to compel victims to hand over access to cryptocurrency savings. The gang broke into the homes of 11 victims, with the most recent one being an elderly couple from North Carolina, whose home Felix and his associates broke into while physically assaulting the two. Both victims were in their 70s, and they forced them to transfer over more than $150,000 in Bitcoin into the thieves' crypto wallets. So this was like a legit... in the article, it says...
How did they find out who has all of this crypto?
So
the whole point of crypto is to be untraceable, right?
In the article, it goes on to say that most of their crypto hackings were done in the traditional sense, right? Through online hacking and stuff like that. But they did break into 11 people's houses, and they've been operating since 2014.
People who are robbing for crypto are just lazy, so they don't have to hide money in the walls.
In court documents, prosecutors say the men working in pairs of small teams threatened to cut toes and genitalia of one of the victims, kidnapped and discussed killing another. They planned to threaten another victim's child as leverage. Prosecutors also described disturbing torture tactics, how the men inserted sharp objects under one of the victim's fingernails and burned another one with a hot iron. So, this is these were no
classic
joke
torture
home
techniques.
Invasions. They're not this is not your small oh, I have 2 or 3 Dogecoin. It sounds like they were going after big fish, right? Enough to the point where they were willing to torture people for these crypto wallets. And I just think that's a very 2024 thing. If you
fuck the Geneva Convention.
If you told me that your house got broken into and I was like, oh, what did they steal? And you were like, oh, they wanted my crypto wallet, I would be like, yeah, okay,
you
bro.
better not write the wrong fucking digit on that 35 code piece of paper.
I would be like, hey, yo, all right, so just where's the GoFundMe at? Because I feel like there's a GoFundMe after that. Oh, I got robbed and they took everything in my crypto wallet.
Please send me money via digital transfer.
So I can
Seems legit.
Yeah.
After getting robbed for crypto, I feel like you would just want to just deal with nothing but cash.
The Justice Department says the serial extortion spree is almost certainly the worst of its kind to ever be prosecuted in the U.S. But this is actually a widespread thing that's going on, and this is just one of the more high-profile cases, and it's just...
This is becoming normal.
Yeah, I just didn't see home invasions for crypto being on my 2024 bingo card, but neither did I didn't have the Drake-Kendrick beef finally popping off this year either.
I didn't have Cat Williams popping off on my 2024 bingo card. Oh, that reminds me. For a year-end segment, I want to do a 2024 award show.
Okay, I feel like we can make that happen. But I think before we need to make anything else happen, we should probably take a quick break. Yeah, it's a lot happening at the BET Awards
New
tonight.
Will Smith music, like the second
Will
song.
Smith music.
I like that. I like that.
Tanner Adele says there's rumor Tanner Adele is gonna drop a new joint tonight to let y'all know she ain't just a Beyonce feature. All right,
Getting a Beyonce feature doesn't hurt.
Let me get it back together. Yeah, no, I mean, since getting the Beyonce feature, I've seen her name all over. I mean, that's how I came into I guess she popped up on my Spotify weekly. I don't listen to Spotify. I have YouTube music, my YouTube Discover playlist. Hey, welcome back to the show where we do professional things and we talk professionally about the news. And
happening around us, our just culture that defines us.
It's the plug with Doc and Ziggy, and we are talking BET Awards because we're talking music, right?
And the BET Awards are going live right now.
I did not have Will Smith dropping new music on my 2024 bingo card.
I personally did.
Did you?
I did.
Did you? You saw that coming?
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Club Shay Shay, you were like, I'm not just gonna let him call me a homosexual. Like
he wasn't. Was Will on Club Shay Shay?
I don't know. No,
Will wasn't on Club Shay Shay.
I'm talking about the Cat Williams interview where I feel like everybody caught strays.
Everybody caught strays.
A couple of people catching.
Except for what's his name? Gary Owens. He was like, Gary Owens is cool, to the point where Gary Owens was on Club Shay Shay. I want to know when like a super white person's gonna end up on Club Shay Shay.
Album of the year, we got Chris Brown's 1111, Gunna, A Gift and a Curse, 21 Savage, American Dream, Usher's Coming Home, and Drake's For All the Dogs, Scary Hours edition. The beginning of this Variety article said that Drake and Nicki were like sweeping with the noms, and it just made me feel like we were back in 2010 again, because I was like, that's crazy. Like, when was the last time you saw that coming? But
you know who would have a really good Shay Shay interview, actually, with like all of the like drama that she's had? Nicole Kidman.
We also have Victoria Monet with Jaguar 2, Killer Mike with Michael, and Nicki Minaj for Pink Friday 2, right? Best Female R&B and Pop Star goes to nominees are Beyonce, Coco Jones, Doja Cat, Her, Money Long, SZA, Tyla, and Victoria Monet. Do you know any of the people on that list? Not to culture shame.
No, I know. Of course, I know Beyonce. I know Doja Cat. I know Her. I know SZA.
Are you familiar with any Coco Jones or?
No.
You know, it was Her that was playing the guitar during Usher's performance. What was it?
I did see that. Just like during the Eminem Dr. Dre one, Anderson .Paak was playing drums.
Best Male R&B Pop Artist nominees are Brent Faiyaz, Bryson Tiller, Burna Boy, Chris Brown, Drake, Friday, who we just heard on the new Will Smith song, October London, Usher. You know, Drake being in all these noms after the recent couple of months, I feel like is real honorable of BET. I don't know how much he'll take home. I guess Kendrick,
it'll be wild when Drake thanks his fans. And the crowd has to try to not laugh.
It's kind of crazy that, like, you know, Not Like Us is not. It would be wild if there was a surprise performance by Kendrick.
You know what would be fantastic?
God,
the Grammy. When is the last hip hop song to win Song of the Year? If he wins Song of the Year with Not Like Us, bro, Drake would have to become a hermit. I mean, the only songs I can think of would be what's the really, really popular song off of Miseducation? I mean, Lauryn Hill fans are screaming because they wait 3.5 hours to hear it in person.
I think it was Jay-Z and Kanye's Jail back in 2022. So it wasn't that long ago. I don't know if that one song, I can't tell if that one song of the year or like rap song. Anyway,
it's rare for rap to win like overall award at the Grammys. It's hip hop albums have only done it twice.
That's why we have the BET Awards, right? Who have survived both the Vibe Awards and the Source Award.
And Tyler Perry.
Best Female Hip Hop Artist nominees are Cardi B, Doja Cat, Glorilla, Ice Spice, Lotto, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, and Sexy Red.
I have heard of almost all of them.
Best male hip hop artist: 21 Savage, Burna Boy, Drake, Future, Gunna, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Lil Wayne. Right?
There's only one that I don't know in that, and fuck you mean I know Gunna.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it that it's Burna Boy that you're not familiar with.
I'm not familiar.
You're probably more familiar with Burna Boy than you think you are. It's just because you don't really like, that's not your like go-to area. It's just in and out, like go in one ear out the other kind of shit. I feel like with the last couple of months, it's kind of hard to conceptualize the entire year of music. Like let's be real. Drake and Kendrick being two of the biggest hip hop artists of the generation, like going like head to head the way they did.
Not Like Us is the song of the year so far.
Yeah, it's a complete like.
It's a wash. Like it's not even close.
All right, yeah. Noticeably, there's a lack of Kanye at the BET Awards this year, despite
him releasing an album that had hits.
I was gonna say Vultures Vultures I think knocked Taylor Swift out of the top 100 on the Billboard for a couple of weeks, right?
But apparently it didn't have the staying power.
I know it stayed for like a good. I know it was longer than 3 weeks. Anyway, some of the other awards, like let's see, who do we have for best movie? We have American Fiction, which was about the black author. I feel like he had trouble getting signed or getting book deals or some shit like that, so he self-funded.
Did the one I think was going that I hope win?
We don't know because these are the nominees. Bob Marley, the One Love documentary, the biopic, shout out to Satir. Renaissance, the Beyonce concert tour movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Book of Clarence, which I haven't gotten a chance to see yet. The Color Purple, which I did see, that was alright. The Color Purple as a musical, kind of weird, but it worked. The Equalizer 3, which I haven't seen yet, and The Little Mermaid.
So we're giving it to Across the Spider-Verse.
Maybe, I don't know. It'll probably go to.
So we're giving it to Across the Spider-Verse. That is one of the most visually stunning pieces of media I have ever seen.
Says somebody who has seen none of the other movies on this list. Best Actor: Anthony Mackie, Coleman Domingo, Damson Idris, Denzel Washington, Donald Glover, Idris Elba, Jeffrey Wright, and Lakeith Stanfield. Best Actress nominees are Angela Bassett, Ayo Edebiri, Coco Jones, Danielle Brooks, Fantasia, Haley Bailey, Issa Rae, and Regina King. Right?
Haley Berry?
Is it Haley? Halle?
That's Halle Berry.
No, that's Haley Bailey, not Halle Berry. Thank you.
Look, my eye was messed up, and my contact must have folded over again.
Anyway. A bunch of other categories that I don't know if you're necessarily concerned with. I do see here that we've got Angel Reese and Flau'jae both nominated for Sportswoman of the Year, as well as Sha'Carri Richardson
and Simone Biles,
who both just made their qualifiers to make it onto the Olympic teams, right?
I think this would be Simone Biles' third Olympics.
Yeah, and Sha'Carri has finally overcome all of her obstacles to be part of a very melanated track and field team. I think all of the qualifiers for America's track and field team are black.
Well, I will say that there is one track and field athlete that is going for my heart of the cards.
But it's Noah Lyles, right?
From Richmond, Virginia.
Noah Lyles has showed up to every track competition with a different Yu-Gi-Oh card.
First
right?
was Blue Eyes White Dragon. And next was Exodia the Forbidden One. I want to point out that the Blue Eyes was not the starter deck Blue Eyes. That was a Legend of Blue Eyes print version. At least the artwork was the Legend of Blue Eyes version. Because if he's like a real Yu-Gi-Oh fan and he actually had like, a first ed LOB Blue Eyes White Dragon, he would have at least had that in the top loader.
I mean, my man he had the head of Exodia tucked the other day, right?
Yeah.
He just popped that shit out right before the track meet got started. He's running with it. Apparently, it turns out he's got a bet going on.
He also was spotted walking around the Olympic Village wearing a dual disc. To which we had to ask resident Flood fam, TK, Thunder Knight himself, who is the original high school yearbook picture meme. And his official statement, goated. Nothing else be said.
Apparently he's got a bet going on with the women's world champion shot putter, Chase Jackson or Chase Ely. If he can pull out all 5 pieces of Exodia, then she has to wear Rock Lee's leg braces for her next run. The weaves are here, y'all.
This is the greatest bet of all time.
The weaves are here, y'all.
This is the greatest bet of all time. So this guy has to win 5 races with a different piece of Exodia.
He has to flash Yu-Gi-Oh cards before each of his heats throughout the ongoing Olympic trials, and Ely will wear Rock Lee's leg weights. Which ironically makes him super fast, right? But she is like the woman shot putting world champion, right? So she's still part of the track and field, because shot put, I think, is part of track and field.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. The weaves are here. I mean, Meg Thee Stallion got that UG voice actor feature for Otaku.
You know.
Yeah.
Like Grammy Award winner Meg Thee Stallion.
No, say the part.
Can't touch me like Gojo.
Yeah. Tall woman with a big ass is what it is. Yeah, no.
Like Grammy Award winner Meg Thee Stallion. Can't touch me like Gojo. Yo, though.
I think it's cool. Weaves are really here. They're out in full force. You had Jake Paul flashing his Charizard card.
Oh, I want to say, the ESPN CU is so fucking
was it
real.
Jake that had the Charizard card?
It was Logan with the Charizard.
It was Logan with the
So
Charizard.
Logan was at the WWE event, and you know who showed up?
Who?
All NBA guard Jalen Brunson and All NBA guard Tyrese Halliburton at WWE with Logan Paul in the ring.
I mean, the WWE is having a pretty good year too, right?
Yeah, ever since Vince stepped down.
Yeah.
There was, it was a thread of tweets of things that Vince McMahon said on live TV, and there was one. He was talking to John Cena, and he was like, "My N-word," and walks away, and there are the two black wrestlers literally right there, and he just goes,
two black wrestlers. It was Booker T and
I didn't know who they were. I'm sorry.
Did you not watch wrestling like that growing up?
Not like that during that era.
Oh, man.
I was
Booker T is from classic, like Booker T go back to like WCW day.
I was a WWE guy. I was really into the Stone Cold Triple H feud. Like that's when I was into it.
I saw a clip the other day of The Rock's last time on the WWE when Eric Bischoff took over, and I think it was Raw, when Eric Bischoff took over Raw. I said Bischoff. And The Rock was like, this is the kind of treatment you give WWE superstars? This is why WCW isn't around anymore.
Booker T, though, looked at the other wrestler. Don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember who. I can't.
But he looked at her, was like, reacted like naturally, but then responded like in character. Was like, did he just say that?
Yeah. That's not the first time Vince has dropped the N-bomb. By the way,
live television.
Did not care. So much so that he got the Diddy treatment. I like that Vince McMahon.
Vince's house didn't get raided.
As far as
it's because he's white.
As far as we know. Speaking of getting raided, well, it hasn't happened yet. People who aren't having good years, Dr. Disrespect's ban from Twitch has recently come to a bit of clarity, right? Facing some new allegations as
they're not really allegations. They're pretty confirmed at this point.
At this point, right? What were allegations put forward by a former Twitch employee on Twitter after Dr. Disrespect had
He's
gone
now a former founder of game company.
live for what would be his last time to say that he was taking a break, or I guess what was supposed to be his last time. And that live was pretty crazy because he did kind of like, I'm not gonna say go off the rails, right? But he was speaking real cryptically about things, and then it almost seemed like his house got raided.
Dr. Disrespect looks like he's always off the rails.
And he kind of was. That was his brand.
He dresses like the lead singer of the Electric Six in a music video.
He streamed from a bathroom at TwitchCon one time, I think.
Was he trying to get the girl in there?
So yeah, no, it came out that he had allegedly been texting, according to him, there was no wrongdoing, so I can't say whether or not he was actually texting with a minor, but it seems pretty obvious that he was texting with a minor who he planned on meeting up with at the new TwitchCon, or the more recent one that was supposed to be happening.
It must have gone like beyond like a fan messaging his page, and I'll be like, oh, I'll be at TwitchCon. You can see me at my event.
No,
like, it's one thing if like they messaged his YouTube channel and was like, are you gonna be at TwitchCon? And he's like, yeah, you can see me at my meet and greet. And another when you're like texting with them personally.
No, apparently it's so bad that Twitch reported him to like a federal like agency, like ones for like child endangerment and shit like that. Like whatever they have on this dude, it was bad enough for them to like actually report this man. His company that he co-founded has officially parted ways with him. Twitch he's been
kicked off Twitch for years.
Yeah, he was on YouTube just recently, right? So yeah, he's been permabanned from YouTube, I believe, as well, following the allegations. I really just kind of want to take this time to talk to, because I know a decent amount of the people who actually listen to this podcast randomly are gamers. Because you guys came to us from the I Am Nerd podcast or whatever, and we all share a love for video games. But why can we talk about the insane platforming of pedophiles in the video game space? Like, it's okay. Like, Smash Bros. Like,
Smash
the
Bros.
Smash Bros community, right? Like, and it's just it's also so many streamers, bro. This is why people reacted weird to Kai Cenat going to Northwest's birthday party, right? Because you have dudes like Dr. Disrespect, whose whole aesthetic and imagery is built around being like the edgy, dysfunctional divorced dad, right? Like,
yeah.
One of the things that he went viral for in his beginning of his career was him taking a break from streaming because of his divorce after cheating on his wife, right? And
just like one of the things that PewDiePie got a lot of benefit from was like that, like, terrorists that all they had was like subscribe to PewDiePie and shit like that.
Yeah, and so when you do things like that and then you come out with such a callous response to allegations like these, such as, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just want to say what I can say since the fucking internet is the internet, right? And I didn't do anything wrong is a weird way to say I wasn't talking to a minor.
It would be totally different if it was like messaging a celebrity and a celebrity was like, I'll be at this meet and greet.
If Kai Cenat had got on to react to everybody acting weird about him going to Northwest birthday party and said, no wrongdoing was found. Nothing illegal happened.
You're right.
I would have been like, okay.
Let me guess. Kai just reacted with, I was at a birthday party.
Yeah, that's literally what he said. He was like, I was at a birthday party. I have tons of fans who want their parents to let me come to their birthday parties to meet me. She watches my stream, bro. Like,
And at this point, we all realize that birthday parties for kids are just an excuse for parents to hang out.
And it was like we were all like on. I mean, they have the stream. They were gonna post the stream, right? Everybody was acting weird, right? But if he had said, "What? Nothing illegal happened. They paid me to be there," then I would have been like,
behind closed doors.
"Yeah, okay, Kai. That's that's weird, right?" Because like
10 children walked in, 9 walked out.
Dr. Disrespect was messaging this girl on Twitch's old messaging service, Whisper, which is just a wild name to be texting a minor.
But yeah,
Wild name
there's
for
a
that.
right there. There's a difference. Kai Cenat went to a birthday party. Dr. Disrespect was disrespected.
Privately, Kai Cenat went to a birthday party that was more than likely filmed on multiple angles, right? Like, I'm sure it was filmed for some Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, he's probably gonna show up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like,
North filmed it for her little TikTok or whatever the fuck she's got going on. Kai filmed it for his stream, right? Dr. Disrespect was texting a minor on an app called Whisper. Privately. It's not funny, but it's ironic, right? Like, the difference between the two.
he had the brew and the chronic.
Take a seat. Can you have a seat? This is why people don't trust people, right? Because Dr. Disrespect doesn't look like the kind of guy that would be texting a minor, despite the fact that he gives off divorced dad energy. And for this to be the reason why he was kicked off Twitch, and remember, like, I feel like we covered it, and it was very, like, they were very quiet about what happened, so much so that he just, you know, had to take a little time to rebuild his community on YouTube, and now it's coming out that this was at the bottom of all of it, and I don't understand why you niggas keep fucking with kids.
This
Man, it's
gives me 2000s Warped Tour vibes.
true. That's that unnecessary stray. Guys, it is crazy to me that, like, I want to be like, oh no, all the fucking crazy pedo panic, right? Pedo panic. Can we, like, hashtag that, get it on a t-shirt? It definitely sounds like a grunge band, right?
I'm not wearing that t-shirt.
Pedo panic. All the pedo panic, right, that's going on does feel overblown at times, but then it's like every other week somebody's getting outed for this shit, bro, and it's like, okay, so it's so
And it's
bad.
just like, there's too many exceptions proving this rule, please. Please stop. Please stop.
It's so bad that Paris Hilton is taking charge to push for child welfare reforms and even testifying in front of the House Ways and Means Committee, an emotional testimony, right, saying that she will not stop until America's youth are safe. And she's
43?
Yeah, she's 43 now, and over the last couple of years, she has made it her mission to really bring to light and put an end to some of these youth residential treatment facilities, what they're calling it, but that's not what they were. She recounts on how she was ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night at 16, and she was forced to go to the first of 4 different facilities where she was force-fed medications and sexually abused by staff. And, you know, it's...
Paris Hilton!
Yeah. Talked about all of this on the House Ways and Means Committee. And what the internet is talking about is...
Is that a before and after? Like a reality Paris versus now Paris?
Yeah.
She looks like she could be a Fox News commentator. And I mean that as a compliment, because they are all very attractive.
No, but what's really trending... People are just now finding out that Paris Hilton doesn't actually talk like an airhead, right? The whole testimony went viral recently because people were reacting to Paris Hilton's insane code switching, as she called it. And this is not the first time I had heard Paris Hilton talk like that. But the dramatic switch up into her get serious, get shit done mode was kind of like very abrupt and jarring.
You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah. She dropped that cutesy wootsy shit pretty quickly, and you know, she goes on to talk about how she's been said it's a character she plays. She's not a dumb blonde. I'm just good at playing one, and after a good life, I got stuck playing the role, she explains, but she switches between the two voices when it comes time to get shit done, like in this week's congressional testimony. But overall, I think it's actually quite commendable that Paris is using her notoriety.
I had no idea any of this happened to Paris.
Bring attention to, it's those fucking camps that the teens in crisis who you see on the daytime talk shows get sent to and shit like that. Like,
it sounds like something run by Vaultco.
You mean Vaultco?
Vought from The Boys, or Vault-Tec.
Okay.
Vault-Tec or Vought.
Yeah. Things I also didn't have on my 2024 bingo card. Paris Hilton testifying about
that one. I will admit was not,
endangerment.
but Will Smith releasing new music was, yeah, that was reasonably on my bingo card.
One more story I wanted to cover before we go to break and then come back and talk
I
about
did
the
hear
debate.
about this one
Because it's been trending. Gamer flies across the country to attack MMO rival with a hammer. An alleged dispute in Arcage, led to one man breaking into someone's house to physically assault another. A man from New Jersey was charged with attempted second-degree murder over the weekend after he flew to Florida. Once again, not a what the Florida story. It's actually a what the New Jersey story.
Yeah.
To attack another gamer with a hammer over a dispute in an MMORPG game. On June 23rd, Edward Kang, a 20-year-old man, was arrested by Nassau County, Florida Police Office after arriving at the house of Zachary Den and allegedly assaulting him with a hammer he bought at the store just after the attack. So my man got the plane ticket. Can you just imagine? Like, I need to
beelines to a fucking Lowe's.
I need to know how long he was fuming over that rage quit, because you know he rage quit. Do you think he broke his keyboard? Like,
no, I feel like this has been building up. So here's the thing. Like, I watched the Ricky Elliott on this segment, and Arcage is really old MMO that hardly anybody plays. So I am guessing that these are like 2 of the 25 people on the server.
yeah, apparently
And
the
they are
game
just-
got shut down shortly after this attack happened. So, like, literally, this was this man's only choice for retribution. But he festered over that shit long enough that he bought a plane ticket, and he didn't take the hammer with it, right?
He bought the hammer when he got there.
That
So
means
like
he sat on the plane, bro. No, that means he sat on the plane the entire time. Do you think he knew he was gonna do it with a hammer, or do you think he settled on the hammer while he was on the plane? He was like, should I buy a lead pipe to beat this nigga with, or should I go to the bank and get out like rolls of nickels and go buy a sock and show up to this nigga's house?
all I know is that he thought maybe I just buy a gun, and he was like, no, I don't want any of this registered to me.
Yo.
You know what the thing is? I respect him flying across the country.
Do you?
I don't respect the attempted murder, but the flying across the country, I actually respect that.
It says he got there on the 21st, right? It doesn't say when he flew out. He told his family that he was traveling to Florida to visit a friend. He bought a hammer and a flashlight from a hardware store and then visited
This guy really rummaged like it's Fallout.
early Sunday morning while dressed in all black clothes wearing a black mask. He arrived and entered the home via an unlocked door. So once again, moral of the story, lock your door. Lock your doors. As if the dude, what was it, the fucking, the strangler in California that only broke into people's houses if the doors were
I
unlocked?
can imagine this guy. He's approaching the guy with a hammer, and he's talking. He's like, wait, I know that voice. It's like that scene in Justice League where Luthor switches bodies with the Flash. He's like, at least I can figure out who the Flash is. And pulls off the mask and he's like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. Like your voice sounds so familiar. Is that your mom's dugout 2497? Jen was treated at the hospital for severe head wounds and was later released. Kang has been charged with attempted murder as well as the armed burglary. He's currently being held in Nassau County Jail without bond. And I just feel like, how deep into the game do you think they were? Is this a result of
This is a decade-long plus account.
You think this is like a multiple like griefing experience, right? And he was just tired of being like
absolutely. This is the only way this happens if this has been going on for years.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I've absolutely had enough.
Like, this has been going on so long that they know each other.
Speaking of things that have gone on for way too long, we have to talk about the presidential debate. But we'll do that shortly.
After we lighten the mood with some NBA free agency news.
After.
You take a sound, any sound, record it, and then change its nature by a multiplicity of operations. You record it at different speeds, you play it backwards, you add it to itself over and over again. You adjust filters, echoes, acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
Well, the NBA season never stops even after the Celtics won the championship because we just had the NBA draft.
I can't believe
this
it's
draft class
season already.
The draft is so terrible this year that the most noteworthy thing that happened is the Lakers selected Bronny James with the 55th pick.
The nepotism is nepotizing, baby. I mean, you know,
this is definitely different than the Griffeys playing together because Ken Griffey Jr. was actually the best prospect in the country when he and his dad was like, well, I guess I could stick around for one more year.
Stephen A. Smith is the only person saying it. Bronny wasn't even drafted in the first round. Not to say that being a second round draft pick is a bad thing, right? You are still a second round draft pick, regardless of whether you're the second round draft pick because you're LeBron's son or not.
There was an opportunity.
And he's tired of waiting.
There was one opportunity for the funniest thing in the world to happen. You know, at the 54th pick.
Who?
Austin.
How mad do you think LeBron would have been?
He would have been so mad. Because if there's one franchise he would never play for, it's fucking Boston.
You think so? Yeah, bro.
He hated Boston when he was in Cleveland. He hated Boston when he was in Miami.
Hey,
he hated Boston when he was in Cleveland again.
You can hate on the winners all you want to, baby, but winners are still gonna win. Do you feel like Bronny would have been drafted if it wasn't for Bron?
No. I don't think he would have been drafted next year either. Next year's draft is actually insane.
I saw somewhere that he wasn't gonna make it through the second round of draft picks, and I really feel like LeBron pulled some cards and was like, "No, I'm getting tired, bro. I wanna go home, and I'm done playing for the NBA." Actually, how much longer does he have? Does he have one of those mega contracts with the Lakers?
Well, LeBron opted out of his current contract, and let me get into that. So LeBron, it's safe to assume that LeBron is going to re-sign with the Lakers. But if LeBron was to sign a Supermax, it would be for 3 years and over 100. What's that second digit? Take a guess.
100 million?
160 million.
You said
over
second digit.
3 years.
160 million over. I don't feel like that's bad at all.
It's an insane amount of money. That's the Supermax. So, but
is
the
that
thing
better
is,
than other Supermax deals that we've seen so far? Like, I feel like
no, I mean, it's
crazier.
all based on the collective bargaining agreement and revenue.
Yeah, but I feel like we've heard crazier numbers. We've reported crazier numbers
Well, I mean, Jaylen Brown's deal per year, I think, would be less than LeBron, but he signed a $300 million contract with Boston last year.
That's what
money well spent.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But the Lakers, LeBron opting out of his contract, he's willing to take a pay cut if that means the Lakers can sign somebody that can help them progress towards a championship level. And there are some tables turning because Klay Thompson has been confirmed to not be returning to the Warriors.
Interesting. And we've got JJ Redick as the coach.
JJ Redick is now the coach.
We've got Bronny on the team. So LeBron is really trying to build his Mighty Ducks, right? Like, LeBron is in his Mighty Ducks era. I feel like JJ Redick is a good stand-in for Michael J. Fox here, right? If we're keeping the Mighty Ducks narrative.
So, some other notable ones. James Harden is going to sign with the Clippers for 2 years, staying there. Russell Westbrook is actually expected to be traded to Denver after one of the key championship pieces for the Denver Nuggets last year, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, is to sign with Orlando, who is an up-and-coming team in the Eastern Conference.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Now, the two more interesting ones. This one is more interesting. Chris Paul was not re-signed by the Warriors, and now he has signed with the San Antonio Spurs.
With the Spurs? Who else is on the Spurs? Right.
Victor Wembanyama.
Okay.
So, and the whole problem with the Spurs last year is they didn't have a point guard, and nobody was just passing the ball to the 7'5" guy in the paint.
I guess it's not a terrible shakeup.
The guy could get to the hoop from half court in 2 dribbles.
I'm talking about the draft with the free agency shakeups, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is good because this is like the Spurs, based on what we saw from Wembanyama last year, that is the worst he's ever going to be.
Right. He can only, as, one of the rookies, still, considered.
He was literally a rookie last year.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember.
He's now going to have one of the greatest point guards of all time, even at his advanced age. But, this is going to be the easiest thing Chris Paul has ever done.
So I feel like this makes things, or this will make the beginning of next year a bit interesting, right? I guess we have to see how else these free agency. Did you have any other moves?
Yes, the most important domino seeming to fall is Paul George is expected to leave the Clippers for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, okay. And who else is on the Sixers right now?
Joel Embiid
still, and
Tyrese Maxey.
Okay, all right.
So I just want to remind you what the Clippers did to get Paul George. They traded Oklahoma City Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, their 2022 first-round pick, their 2024 first-round pick, their 2026 first-round pick, Miami's 2021 first-round pick, Miami's 2023 first-round pick, lottery protected, and the rights to a pick swap with the Clippers in 2023 and 2025.
So they emptied out the clip for Paul George, and he's like, that was cool, but I want to go play in Philly. Very interesting.
So now there's James Harden and Kawhi Leonard in the Clippers. Yay.
Sounds so exciting. I mean, we know.
You know who's not excited? Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, who has a brand new arena opening next year.
Thought she was gonna be bringing them in. Now they're taking their talents to Philadelphia, baby.
Philadelphia had all of this cap room, and Paul George, when he was covering the finals and Joel Embiid was on there, Joel Embiid did one of these things. Yeah, I think we just need to get an upgrade.
And an upgrade you shall have, an upgrade.
Which leaves the Clippers in a disaster piece.
I can tell you the Clippers aren't the only people having a disaster piece happen right now. And if you don't know, now you know. We're talking about the debate. Let's talk about
the debacle of a debate.
The debacle it was from the very beginning. Joe was grasping for air, trying to get a word out. It was literally like Donald put some kind of hoodoo on this nigga, yo. Like, just some kind of voice snatching jujitsu, bro. Like,
Donald fucking psyoped him. Because I'm sure the Democratic Party was thinking, yeah, we can just pump this guy full of fucking Adderall and he'll be fine. Yeah. And they'll be like, he's gonna be doped up. And now they're like, fuck. Now do we actually just have to, like, send him out there to show that he doesn't need to be doped up?
And Donald...
No! Dope him the fuck up!
Donald was on it, boy. I mean, it was literally watching, like, a fucking... God, man.
It was like watching batting practice.
Yeah. Yeah, Donald was just swinging him away, and Joe is just...
Joe couldn't finish his sentence, the ball is right there on the tee. Of course Donald's gonna hit it.
God damn.
And he doesn't even need a 6 handicap.
And half the time, he didn't even answer the fucking question. Really, it's really like if you threw a ball to Donald, and then he went off and played golf with it.
And Donald wasn't saying a goddamn thing that was true. It's just...
They were arguing. They got to arguing about their golf scores, bro. And I'm just like, this is fucking ridiculous. Is this what we have to? Everybody is like, oh,
I'm gonna have to say, like,
this
like,
is what we.
He may have like handicapped those club championships in his favor, but Donald is absolutely not. Like, he's better than a 6 handicap based on his reaction. like him saying like Donald. Realistically, Donald's got to be like a 1 or a 2 handicap.
Probably. I mean, as
like
much
for
as,
him to laugh at Joe like that.
As much as he plays golf.
Yeah.
As much as he plays golf, it's probably his one sport that he's still passionate about, right? Like, he's more passionate about golf than he is about actually leading this country.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like,
because the whole night, all he did was fearmonger.
He completely did not answer anything about Israel.
He switched.
And he said, like, avoided everything about January 6th.
He just fear pandered the entire time. You know, he wouldn't name the they that he was talking about, but he definitely made sure everybody knew they were coming across the border and they were, you know, criminals and rapists and they were killing people and they were taking the black jobs and the Hispanic jobs. So now we're like, once he said that, that's when I was like, okay, so who are we talking about then? Like, who is taking the jobs? Who is it? And I'm sure all the MAGA nuts are gonna be like, it's the illegals. And I'm like, okay, but I thought the illegals were supposed to be the Hispanics.
I thought there was like a constitutional amendment that got rid of black jobs. Like specifically black jobs and just made them jobs.
Like yeah, we just did that, right?
They're no longer black jobs, they're just jobs.
It was so bad that Omarosa even came out and said that his remarks kind of harkened back to slavery, right? Like the help, you know, they're coming and they're taking the jobs of the help, right? And it just
shout out to Zach Zwagel. When was the last time white people were scared of black people with cleaning supplies?
The levels of projection are
Shout out to Zach.
rising up. No, like, dude, like, all he did all night was project. And that's why, like, Joe just seemed, like, baffled, because he was really like, wow, you're just gonna lie and say I'm doing everything that you're doing, huh? And Donald was like, yep, yes the fuck I am.
Yes the fuck I am.
It was you that ruined the country. You're the reason why people think we're a fucking joke now. I handed you a great economy. I was like, wow, we're not gonna fact check any of that.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that like Biden set the rules and like Tapper just had to like follow the rules, and I'm sure Jake Tapper was like fuming in his seat.
You couldn't see that Jake was fuming in his seat. Van Jones at the end was like so like fucking just beside himself. Everybody's been besides themselves. Oh my god, the Capitol Hill is ablaze right now because the big donors are calling for Joe to step down, right? And there are political...
The most patriotic thing you can do is step down.
There are political pundits right now, political historians who are saying that Joe should stay the course, but after that debate performance, and there was even murmurs that he came out, was it in New Jersey or Pennsylvania just recently, and was like, you know, I don't move like I used to, I don't debate like I used to, but I know how to tell the truth and I know what this country needs, right? But
Sweet teleprompter.
I feel like it felt like he was trying to read from a teleprompter the other night, and
I couldn't find it.
At this point, I don't know if he could read from a teleprompter to save his fucking life. I think to save his fucking life, they should probably convince Joe to step down. The man looks tired, and at this point, the rumors of we're not voting for Joe, we're voting for President Kamala Harris. I don't know how you could think that man is gonna make it another fucking 4 years, bro. I'm not saying that Joe is not going to make it another 4 years. I mean, as president, right? Like, we saw how it sucked the soul out of Barack.
I think you could say either, and it'd be fair.
I mean, and Donald is going to be as old as Joe is now by the time he's at the end of his presidency. And sure, you can say a lot for Donald's mental agility during the debate, right? But
he was doped up.
It's very clear that Donald is also losing it too, bro. Like, he's like, yes, Joe may be the slow one who is having time finishing his sentences or having a hard time finishing his sentences, but Donald is the old grandpa that thinks like they're fucking wiring the walls and like that his neighbors are stealing his newspaper and shit like that. And I don't want either one of those two dudes as president. There's gotta be better choices, right? And some of the choices for Joe, right, have been,
Let's keep in mind that this debate happened before the presidential conventions, which are normally when the candidates are chosen. So, like, this wouldn't even be out of the normal time frame for a candidate to switch.
Yeah, and that's why big donors are saying we've got to do something. And I do think it's funny that out of the potential noms that are being listed, Kamala Harris doesn't seem to be one of them. Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, and even Pete Buttigieg, right? But
I mean, Gavin Newsom's basically like stage 1 digi-evolution Joe Biden.
I was gonna say Gavin Newsom feels like Ronald Reagan from a different timeline. Right? Where he wasn't an actor, he just went to law school or some shit like that.
And leaned into the gray hair.
I think it's funny how it's also the writing on the wall is very clear for Kamala Harris as well. Right? Like, she has a very uphill battle to go to convince people that she is
a human?
Capable of taking out Donald Trump. Right, and it's a shame, as much as we all want, to love Auntie Kamala, she is not really, the best of my knowledge, from what I've seen, really fit the bill for that. Some other wild nominees that I would like to put out there, I think, since Bernie can't run, I would like to nominate another angry Jew who needs to just face that it's probably his destiny. John, please. It's like, no, I'm kidding. Listen, I'm not. John, seriously, if you can return for The Daily Show, then maybe if Zelensky can be president, there's no reason John couldn't be.
Who would be in John's cabinet?
I was trying to think of who John could pick as a running mate, and I feel like Bernie would probably be a good running mate, but also two Jews running the country, I feel like is a hard battle for a lot of people.
He would pick someone, like, very serious.
Yeah. So,
like, he would have a legitimate administration.
I feel like
he just might not have a press secretary.
Would have to be Larry Wilmore.
Press secretary Larry Wilmore?
No, Vice President Larry
Wilmore.
John and Larry.
That's actually a good question. How come people in, like, the media have never really tried to run for office?
Ronald Reagan.
He's a movie star. That's different.
I feel like because at this point, especially at this point, the lines between...
Like, what if Walter Cronkite ran for office?
The lines between... Well, because there was a separation between media and the political sphere, right? Because media was supposed to be, like, the independent agency that kept the political sphere in check. That's what journalism is for, right? So, like, when you have these two industries getting as large as they are, and media is effectively the fourth wing of the government now, right? I feel like if Tucker Carlson tried to run for president, it would be a little on the nose. I mean, Donald, right? Like, Donald transitioned from The Apprentice into a run for presidency and is potentially going to make his second run successful as his first. I just don't feel like...
His third run.
Yeah, technically. The country deserves better. I really do feel like the country deserves better. I'm not going to be one of those doomsday people, even though Project 2025 is out there for everybody to read if they want to. You can see what the GOP and the MAGA Republicans are trying to do to the country and how they are trying to drain the swamp by dismantling the effective way that the government functions so that they can sequester power and loyalty into the small streams that they want. But hey, I just sound like a crazy leftist, but I don't think, the problem is necessarily Donald Trump. Whether he wins or not, they already have the courts packed. They're going to try and implement the system, especially if they win the House and the Senate. What this debate has shown, though, is that if this plan that the Democratic Committee was going with, as we all tried to tell them, was a fucking bad idea, bro. Yes, it was great that Joe was able to beat Donald the first time around, but it is very clear that Joe is, as much as I hate to say it,
Every RPG party has its job. You have a tank, you have a healer, you have a DPS. Congratulations, you drew the aggro, Joe. You gotta let the DPS finish the job.
Joe is not equipped to take on the task that the United States... I know
I don't know if that was a follow-up intentionally when I said JRPG or not, but that was well done.
Yes, Joe is not equipped to handle the kind of problems that... I feel like he'd be good on somebody's cabinet or like as an advisor, right? But at this point, all Joe really has is the wisdom to offer, but he does not have the steam to lead and motivate the people the way that he needs to, and he proved that during the debate. Donald was very on brand in that Donald may not have won substantively during the debate, but Donald did exactly what he knew he was going to do, and that was establish the brand. I said the dog whistles were megaphones, and he did that on purpose. Yes, bro. He was out there letting people know what it was. He tried to signal to everybody that he could. This nigga really went out there and like bird called and was like, yo, it's Trump gang or die, homie. What you about? And Joe was like, well, I America. It's sad. It's fucking hard to watch, man. It's really hard to watch.
Hey Joe, you're moving slow and your baby looking tired. Maybe you should step aside and retire.
Oh man, and us ending on such a silent note is just another reminder that
none of this is normal. But what should be normal is buying all of your Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, board games, card game supplies, and One Piece card game at tokenmtg.com and use the promo code Ziggy to get 10% off of your order. And also a special shout out to our patrons Enraged Peacock and CA Reverse.
I was gonna say Australian Circus.
I like Australian Circus better.
Shout out to Australian Circus. Also, if you are in the area, you can come see me and Zig do open mics at
Art House on Fridays and Saturdays, and also the Manor on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. If you can make it out there, that would be the one I would recommend seeing us at. Because shout out, Mobtown Boys put on the best show in the city.
We'll catch y'all next week.
Deuces!
Look, it's a flood! It's flood! It's flooding!
Get away!
Quick, we need to get to higher ground!
Open the floodgates!
Wait, why can't we talk about
It
black
is
stuff?
time to